Welcome back here at Cardines Field as our pregame show continues. Now it's time for the front office report, as we'll be joined every Friday by Newport Gulls General Manager Chuck Pava. Chuck, how are you today?
Good to see you, Nick. Good to see you.
It's been a quick start here for the summer here for the Newport Gulls. A week later than normal, but that gave an opportunity for a couple more players to arrive. Still, Newport was shorthanded throughout the first couple games of the season, but just about the full squad is here now.
Well, yeah, we were very shorthanded. Unlike most of the teams in our league who had the majority of their players in-house from day one, we had not even 50%, maybe a third of our roster. So we just, grinded through the first couple of games and just kept getting guys in periodically. And unfortunately, that injury bug hit us in the first week. And of course, you got limited bodies, then you get injured guys. So all of a sudden you're back to square one, scrambling again and waiting for the next guy to show up and try to make us a little bit more stable. So guys are all here now. We have guys coming in today. There's a few still driving here as we speak. So I'm excited when this whole team gets together. I'm sure we're going to be very competitive.
As you mentioned, Chuck, there have been a few injuries earlier on in the season. Among them, Kevin Stroshine injured on really the first game of the season on the road.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate situation because he had such a monster freshman year, and we were really looking forward to. I was looking forward to watching him play and perform. And he hurt his hand on the first game, and it was unfortunate, but he'll be back eventually. He's just anxious because he's young. He wants to get back on the field faster than he probably should. We just need to be patient with him and him patient with us, and he'll eventually be back on the field with us.
How's Charlie Carpenter doing?
Charlie's in the same boat. He got a hamstring issue. So hamstrings take a while. They're tender, and you just need to let it rest. And when you think it's okay, it's not really, because when you start running, you'll start to feel it differently. So he hasn't gotten to that point yet. Fortunately, we signed another catcher to ensure against any of those injuries with our catchers, and we had to do what we had to do. So we're pretty solid now. We're just going to wait for Charlie to get back into our offense.
So 3 catchers listed on the roster now. Really, though, it's 4, because in an emergency situation with Ben Brazil out with the flu, the Gulls had the Tappan outfielder to play catcher the other night, and worked out pretty well.
Yeah, he was an outfielder in high school, so we addressed the team and we tried to find out who would be the best fit for that. And Steven just put his hand up, said, "I can handle that. I did it all in high school," and we were very fortunate. He's a gamer. He's a team guy already here, already picking his teammates up, swinging the bat like he can. So I'm excited for him, and he's just a team guy that helped out his team that night.
Chuck, continuity has always been very big in the Newport Gulls coaching staff. This year, the continuity is still there. Al Leyva and 2 other coaches who are new to the organization but not new to the NECBL.
No, I mean, they both coached in this league before. Daryl Marhart's been around forever, as long as I have, pretty much. He was in Torrington for such a long time, the head manager in Holyoke. So we got an experienced guy there. And losing Kevin Long was sad and unfortunate. However, I had to find somebody who was at the same level as Kevin's, because we're getting everybody's top pitcher here. We had to be sure that we can help develop those kids. So Daryl's a good fit, Coach Degree, another great fit, coached in North Adams last year. He's an educator. He was a retired fire chief. He's been around the horn. He's a principal, athletic director. So we've got somebody who's very stable, and he's a motivational guy. He's positive, and that's what we want here to help keep our guys positive through a grind this summer.
Chuck, the Newport Gulls are known for the first franchise, for example, to 4, 5, and now 6 NECBL titles. They'll also be the first franchise to host the NECBL All-Star Game a third time. They had it in 2005 and 2010, and here again they'll have it on July 17th.
Yeah, hosting the All-Star Game is always an honor, but it's not easy. There's a lot of work involved. Otherwise, we'd probably try to do it a little bit more often, but every 5 years is a good amount of time for us to get involved with that process. So we'll see where the next one comes, but we're excited about July 17th here at Cardines and bringing the best of the best here to showcase their skills in front of all the major league people that'll be here.
This historic ballpark, Cardines Field, always a great place to host a game like the All-Star Game, but the field gets a lot of use, as you know, and the Gulls do their part to try and keep it up as they did just prior to the season this year with the infield.
Yeah, we got to play our part. The city of Newport is supportive of us, and we are their partner. They're our partner, so we got to do what we have to do. And then for us is to make sure this field is in best playing condition that it can be. So we brought a company that does Gillette Stadium. They do Fenway Park. it was a little bit expensive, so to speak, but it was worth it. They came down here and they cleaned up our infield, and hopefully we'll get it cleaned up for good after the season. But we do what we have to do, Nick, and we also have 2 players who start working on this field every day, so it'll start to come together nicely for us.
Finally, Chuck, the Gulls have always turned to returning players to be leaders in the team. This year, for the first time in a while, no position players have returned, but the Gulls did bring back 4 pitchers.
Yeah, you just never know the way it works. You start out with a roster in August, and you go through all the bumps and bruises over the course of the winter, spring, and then you figure out who's coming in June. And it happens to be some guys that weren't coming back and some guys that were. And so, it just happens to work out that way. But we're always happy to have Gulls come back home.
Newport Gulls General Manager Chuck Paver, thanks for joining us on the Front Office Report. We'll catch up with you, a member of the Front Office, every single Friday.
All right, Nick. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chuck. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues. Coming up next, the Newport Gulls Insider and the Gulls Eye View and the Manager's Show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.